A very good day to the panel of judges. My name is Intana Shaira Zanail and I am from 3SSJ. My supervisor is Professor Dr. Muhammad Shafri bin Muhammad Rahim. And for my PSM1, my project title is Property Assessment Tax Management System using GIS. And for my presentation, I will be talking about the introduction, literature review, software development methodology, requirement analysis and design, and the conclusion for my thesis. Now for the first part of my presentation, I would like to start off with the introduction of my project. My project focuses on the property assessment tax for the local authorities by integrating GIS. And a little bit about property tax is that every single property owner who owns either a building, a house or a land are subject to pay property tax to the local authorities. And there are different types of taxes that needed to be paid, which some of them are the quit rent and the assessment tax. This will be discussed further on the presentation. Now let's dive into the problem background of this project. In Malaysia, the reduced tax collection has been a constant recurrent problem in where the tax areas rate is high in the generation of property tax revenue, which then causes the local authorities not being able to carry out their responsibilities well. This happens due to the difficulty for them to identify these tax areas, to identify the location of them. And it's difficult because of the complexity of building structures as well as the clutter of properties in the area. And besides that, local authorities in Malaysia current system uses only attribute data for the handling of property taxes. And attribute data is a data that actually contains a non-location information related to a point. So let's say in that one point it contains name, address, and text. It's just that it just contains the name and the address and the text. And in response to all of the problems that I've stated, this project is created. The aim of this project is to develop a mobile application, an Android native mobile application where you can easily identify the location of tax areas and also to extract valuable tax information through the system, which is also through the mapping that will be implemented inside this mobile application. And the objectives of this project is to study and analyze the problem background and to extract the user requirements needed for this system. And the user for this system is the officers of Majlis Bandaraya Shah Alam, and MBSA is our stakeholder. Next is to easily identify the location of tax areas in a specific area and also to extract valuable tax information through the system. For the scope of this project, we'll first identify the target user. The target user of this project is the officers of Majlis Bandaraya Shah Alam MBSA who oversees the property assessment tax. Next, the system will only focus on the tax areas that are in Shah Alam because of our stakeholder is the MBSA, and the application will be implemented in an Android platform that will be supported alongside with this geographic information system technology. With this, it will increase the user experience when they use this application. The next part of the presentation is the literature review. First, I will explain my findings on the property tax in Malaysia's local government. As I have mentioned before, every property owner has to pay property taxes to the local authorities. So, property tax in Malaysia are divided into two categories, which are the sale tax and the maintenance tax. Assessment tax is the focus of this project, and this tax is under the maintenance tax. In the maintenance tax, there are two different taxes, which are the quit rent and yes, the assessment tax. The assessment tax is the main revenue source for local authorities, as these taxes are used to maintain the local infrastructure and the services of the local community. Moving on to the case study, which is the MBSA's property tax management system. First, we need to know MBSA's responsibilities. They are responsible to take care of the local community's well-being in terms of maintaining local infrastructure and urban infrastructure. This is where the assessment tax helps them. Also, they are responsible for town planning, management of waste removal, and many more. In Shah Alam, there are a total of 24 zones and a total of 56 sections. For the overall taxation management, there are two departments that are highly involved in it, which are the Property Management and Valuation Department and also the Finance Department. For property taxation, there are a total of 200,000 data that MBSA needs to process. For the payment of assessment tax for MBSA, it is done twice a year, which is on the 1st of January and the 1st of July. If the owner does not pay for about after 2 months, a 20 ringgit fine is imposed. For the overall process, MBSA manages their taxation manually, where they store all the information in a database and the report is done manually. For the identification of tax areas, it is done in multiple databases using filters such as property type, location, and tax amount. The result that came out from the filters that they have chosen, it came out with a list of filtered information only. For the software development methodology, the chosen one is Rational Unified Process. This model is an incremental and iterative software model. In this software development methodology, there are 4 phases, which is inception phase, elaboration phase, construction phase, and transition phase. For Psm1, the phases involved are inception phase and also elaboration phase. This methodology provides a systematic and structured way to create a software, and the goal of this methodology is to build a high quality software while considering the budget and the time frame. For the requirement analysis and design, the first one is for functional requirement. For this project, there is a total of 10 functional requirements that would be able to fulfill all the user requirements needed in order to make this project a success. For the non-functional requirements, there is a total of 4 non-functional requirements in which this project should adhere to. The first one is the security. The system must ensure that only the registered users can access the system, as there's a lot of private information in it. Next is the usability. Usability is important to ensure that it is easy to use and also it contains user-friendly interfaces. Next is flexibility. This project should be able to adapt to any changes and also improvements in the future. Last but not least is maintainability. This system should be able to be maintained when the system encounters any faulty, and when it does, it should be able to be fixed. Next, we are going to talk about the overview of the application. For the overview of the application, a use case model is used to illustrate, to visualize the whole overview of the application. First, there are a total of 2 users, which is an admin and also an officer. An admin is able to view report, assign tasks to officer, display list of officers, log into the system, and also to display overall map. As for the officers, they are able to generate report, register to the system, display task assignments, log into the system, and also display overall map. So in total, there is about 10 use cases for this project. Now we have reached the conclusion to this presentation. First, we're going to talk about the achievements of project objectives that I have achieved in Psm1, which are to study and analyze the problem background and the user requirement that has been stated during the interview in order to achieve both the functional and non-functional requirements of this project. This milestone can be seen in all of the documents, such as in my SRS and also in my STD, where all the use case models, activity diagrams, and sequence diagrams are illustrated. Now for the planning for PSM2, the next phase of this project is the construction phase and the transition phase. This is based on the RUP methodology that has been chosen for this project. These are the phases that will be involved in the PSM2. So PSM2 should start as soon as PSM1 presentations and documents are approved by the faculty. This is to ensure that the project is able to be completed on time. During the construction phase, this is where the development and also the testing happens. The testing of the system will be done in 2 methods, which is by using the black box testing and also the user acceptance testing. The testing phase is a very crucial phase, as it is one of the phases that it actually determines either the completed application it meets the user requirement or it does not. Transition phase is where the deployment of the system happens. And with that is all from me. I would like to say thank you very much for taking your time to listen to my presentation, and thank you very much.